episode 85 of the Bench is Cleared podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I'm Tyler Coe, and I represent the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are gonna go 5-1 this past week.
And I'm Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the first place San Francisco Giants, who are about to go 6-0 this week.
I fucking doubt it. I doubt it. We got two guys on bottom of the ninth. Was that Darren Ruff is up?
The plate.
Oh, Kirk Casale.
Yeah, Kirk Casale's at the plate. It's gonna happen.
I'm thinking a nice little double play. Send this into extra innings. Diamondbacks win by 2. Mm-hmm. Dodgers are going to be down 1 going into the last 3 of the season.
Yes. Burns is pitching game 2. So I don't know. I think you have at least one.
Not scared.
Going on.
Not scared.
Not scared. Cy Young. Not a big deal. Yeah, I mean,
not going to win the Cy Young.
We're in the bottom of the ninth of the Giants game right now. I mean, the Dodger game is already over. I mean, the Padres already showed they had no fight in them last night.
Dodgers won 8-3. That's a 9 straight against the Padres. No big deal.
It is no big deal because they're fucking shot, and they showed that. Well, I guess when you listen to this 2 nights ago, they are so shot, and I hate them so much. To get my hopes up yesterday. But we are in the bottom of the ninth of the Giants game. Kirk Casale at the plate. I don't know if Kirk Casale is going to do it or if it's going to be somebody else who's going to just knock in that last run, but that's what's going to happen. So when you hear like and you hear Tyler, that is why. So
first of all, I've never cried about anything on this show ever. I'm very
I'm not crying.
Yeah, I'm very even-tempered, mild-mannered. I take things in stride. It's just a game, you know. Speaking of, let's just jump into Let's just jump into around the league
because we don't have order on this pod.
We don't go out of order, and we don't have anything to talk about since this Giant game's going in the 10th, hopefully. Let's talk about, we might have to expand this podcast. I might have to wear 2 jerseys. This might be a Dodgers, Giants, Mariners podcast. What did I say about my Mariners? I said they're hot. They're coming, and they're tied for the wild card with 3 games left in the season. And if anything, I think everyone should just be happy that the Mariners are in it so that the Yankees and Red Sox aren't. One of them aren't going to be, and that's great.
That would be amazing. I would prefer it not be the Yankees, and it's a real possibility. It's not like the Yankees have this crazy lead in that top spot. And
it could be a Blue Jays Mariners wild card, which would be sick.
That would be the dream. I would love that. I wouldn't mind the Red Sox being in there. I fuck with the Red Sox. Not like I'm a fan, but I don't dislike the Red Sox. I think everyone hates the Yankees. So I don't know. I hope it's Toronto and the Mariners, and the Mariners stick it through. But if I only got to pick one team, it would be the Mariners. I want the Mariners in there, even though I'm a big Marcus Semien fan. So
the Mariners haven't been to the postseason in over 15 years. So if anything, it's just a cool story. No one expected them to compete this year. So they're going to finish over. They're probably going to win at least 90 games. It's just a cool story. And around the league, and this ties into the NL West, the Padres hopefully sweep the Giants this weekend. And if they do, they still can't have a winning record on the season. Padres have lost 81 games.
Let's celebrate that for a moment.
Yeah, the dream of having the best season ever certainly was dashed long ago, but now they can't even have a winning season.
Right.
How did everyone get this so wrong? Everyone did. Yeah, everyone.
That's the thing. Like, there's a lot of places that, like, a lot of publications that are talking about how I can't believe that, all the pundits got it wrong and yada, yada, yada. Everyone got it wrong. I think, me personally, this podcast had the most optimistic take of the Giants. And the most optimistic take is they can compete for that second wild card, that they were going to win 88 to 90 games maybe. And they were going to sneak into that second wild card and hopefully knock off either the Padres or the Dodgers. Nobody thought they were going to be past the Padres. Nobody thought they were going to be past the Dodgers. Absolutely nobody, especially if you say the Dodgers are going to win. What? They're at 102 right now?
103. 103.
Oh yeah, because we're about to be at 105 because Lamont Wade in the ninth inning. Late night Lamont. Come on, his average in the ninth inning, it's stupid, and he doesn't even need a hit, a deep fly ball work. Yeah. So no one, if you would have told me that the Dodgers are going to end up with 105 wins, no way did I think that anyone would beat them, let alone to beat the Giants. So there's that.
Oh, is Duggar pinch running at third?
Oh yeah, Duggar's pinch running at third.
God damn it!
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
All right. Wild pitch. Let's keep it going. Keep being optimistic here.
Be optimistic because I'd love to see your dreams crash down. So
the playoffs are more or less set. I mean, all the divisions are set except the NL West. The Phillies lost, so the Braves clinched that division. The East is already taken care of. We already know the Cardinals are going to be in that goddamn wild card game. Yeah, Cardinals 17 straight, and now I think they lost one, and then they've won the last two, so they've won 19 out of 20. Don't want to play them. I'm sure the Giants don't want to play them either. So yeah, no, I'm just kind of rambling because I'm scared and I'm watching the Giants. But
listen, you choose your poison, right? We're gonna go preview this wild card game right before the wild card game. We're gonna talk about exactly who is in it, probably the Dodgers. But I mean, a hot team is scarier than the most powerhouse team in the world. So I'm more scared of that lineup, like we were talking about the other day. And there goes Lamont Wade, deep left field.
Foul ball. Okay. Fuck yeah.
The only thing that you have on this situation is Lamont Wade is not good against lefties. So there's that. Sorry to keep going back and forth. If you are not watching on YouTube and you're just audio only, it's a little harder to follow along, but you're going to hear reactions to what's happening in the ninth inning. So
since we're not going out of order, I'm just going to jump straight into it. I'm going to talk about the Dodgers week because it plays into what's going on right now. Dodgers went 5-1, which is great, but it's just been like it has been all season. The Dodgers won 103 games, which is great until you compare it to what the goddamn Giants are doing. Giants are 5-0 at the moment, may go 6-0. So the Dodgers are going to lose a game potentially where they were last week. If the Giants win tonight, and they just did.
And they just won Lamont Wade in the ninth inning. What did I tell you? Let's fucking go. I'm sorry.
That's it. That's the season.
Late night Lamont.
That's the season. Lamont. That's it.
It's just not going to happen. Magic number at 3. At 2. Pick number 3, my lord. Yeah. So
that's the season.
I'm gonna let you. Tyler, I'm gonna let you finish. But Lamont Wade has some of the best ninth inning hits of all time. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, that's the season for the Dodgers. They will be playing in the wild card. There's no way the Giants lose. I mean, best case scenario for the Dodgers, you're looking at 163. There's no way the Giants lose 3. I think it's very possible the Dodgers win 3, but there's no way the Padres sweep the Giants. There's no fucking way. I would bet my life on it. There's no way.
No fucking way. Gabe Kapler's just a fucking genius.
Best case scenario, you're looking at 163. I don't think the Giants lose 2 games. They're going to win the series against the Padres. Tonight this needed to happen tonight. So it looks like the Dodgers going in the wild card. Like I said, we'll preview that when it's in actuality. It's kind of hard now, I was kind of on a high coming in, but now it just kind of takes the wind out of my sails.
Especially off of what's today? Today's Wednesdays nights game.
That's what I was just about to talk about. So
right.
Yesterday being down 9-5, it's the same feeling as I have right now. Okay, the season's over. That's it. Because if you go down 3 games, like there's no coming back from that.
Right.
And then seeing what they did, being down by that much, that's huge. And I still think it's big on building momentum going into the wild card game. It's huge. This team, it shows that this team has no quit. They despite being down by 4, there's still a chance the Giants lose. They want to win. They want to go. They don't want to play in the wild card game, even though that looks like what's going to happen now. But yeah, just show
sniffling. Look at you.
Yeah. I'm so sad. Yeah, I mean, it just shows that they have no quit. And I mean, especially for a guy like Max Scherzer, that streak he had to have when he came over to the Dodgers of just being incredible. It had to end at some point.
Right.
So with it ending yesterday and being able to pick him up and get that win, that's huge. So the offense is clicking, and the offense again looked good tonight. Cody Bellinger hit a home run last night. Cody Bellinger tonight had an RBI hit. So Cody's, maybe coming back a little bit. Gavin Lux appears to not be injured very seriously, which is great because when he ran into the outfield wall yesterday, tracking that ball down, good on him. I mean, he had no quit on that ball, but also you got to learn to, sometimes you're just maybe not going to get it and it's not worth risking a serious injury. But I thought for sure he had a broken collarbone or maybe, a separated shoulder, maybe a concussion. Jesse being unprofessional, not silencing his phone. Yeah, so hopefully he's good. It looks like Chris Taylor is going to be healthy. So as far as the wild card as it goes, it looks like everyone's going to be healthy. So they can be an all hands on deck approach. We'll see what happens. If the Giants win tomorrow, dude, save your guys. I would save Julio from starting on Saturday. I think he's starting Saturday. I would save him. I would save him. Tell me you smart man. God, I'm just so upset right now.
You figure out who you want for the wild card game. Obviously Scherzer. But you also should find out who should be your backup just in case of injury or whatever. If you want to make that be Bueller, or if you want to leave Bueller and have Julio, be that guy to piggyback just in case something happens, like something happened to Scott Kazmir today, twists his ankle going to first. You never know. So,
which really didn't play in the Dodgers' favor because if Scott Kazmir would have stayed out there, he would have got lit the fuck up.
Possibly, but you don't want to rest because the thing is, if they're not pitching in the wild card game, the division series not for till what is that, Thursday? So, I mean, you don't want to leave them on too much rest, because you want to keep them in the same rhythm. You might want to give them an extra day, maybe, but to rest them a full 2 cycles, it's not going to be good. It's going to be too much rest, and they need to stay in the swing of things.
Yeah, we'll see, Dr. Dipshit. I don't really have anything to say. Dodgers need to sweep the Brewers, and as we said, they are getting Corbin Burns on Saturday. I think Lauer's pitching on Friday. Yeah. So obviously you're not going to see Woodruff, the Peralta. Also not going to see Devin Williams. Thank you. Big shout out to D Will for celebrating a little too hard. When will everyone learn punching a wall is never a good idea?
Yeah,
you're never going to get any satisfaction out of it. But this is huge for the Giants as well. I mean, it's very possible the Dodgers or Giants could see the Brewers in the NLCS, and for the second year in a row now, Devin Williams isn't going to be on the playoff roster.
That's crazy.
Maybe he makes it back for the World Series if they go that far, but I mean, that's your second best bullpen arm, and he's only not your best arm because you have a guy like Josh Hader. He might be the best bullpen guy you have in any other bullpen.
Yeah. I can't think of, you could argue other people, but oh my gosh. Yeah.
Certainly in the Giants bullpen, he would be the best pitcher, but
yeah. I would probably even argue the Dodgers bullpen too.
Nah, I doubt it.
Who? Blake Trident?
Absolutely.
You can maybe make an argument.
100%.
Maybe make an argument, but I can make an argument in the next 2 weeks about my man Camilo Doval, best pitcher alive. So,
oh my God,
he's a Hall of Famer.
How many games has he pitched in?
Probably 20, 20
games in his fucking career.
He's literally the best person to ever touch a baseball. I think he's the best
just
person
like
to ever touch a baseball.
Lamont Davis or whatever you said his name was.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about your fucking cheating Giants.
Yeah, let's turn this around from. Well, one thing I wanted to ask you actually before we get off the Dodgers, it's something.
How do I think the Giants are tweeting? I'm glad you asked.
Tweeting, yes, they tweet a lot. They tweet every single time they hit a home run, which is
I said cheating. Cheating.
You said tweeting.
Cheaters.
You said tweeting. I think you meant to say cheating, but you said tweeting.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me answer. I don't know, but you bet your ass I'm gonna find out. I will fucking figure it out how they're cheating.
That has to be the biggest compliment ever. I mean, even have writers talking about how, like, legit writers with blue check marks talking about how Madison Bumgarner was throwing, gift pitches to his old teammates because they hit hard off them. Like, come the fuck on. Like,
no, Mad Bum's just done. He's over the hill.
Oh no, I mean, he's still very good. But when you're the best, offensive team the world has ever seen, you know what I'm saying?
What are you gonna do when it comes out that you guys were cheating? Will you denounce your Giants and call the season a wash if it comes out that they are cheating?
Oh, if they were cheating, would I call the season a wash? Yes, of course. Would I stop being like? That's all I wanted to hear. Yeah, of course. I mean, if I was an Astros fan, I would be embarrassed. That's how I would feel if you know what I'm saying. But I just think it's great that the Giants are so fucking good that you gotta stoop as low as to just accuse cheating with no evidence. I think it's the cutest, greatest thing. One thing I want to make a statement about Dodger Nation, and I wanted to ask you, because Cody Bellinger had that big home run yesterday, and because he got another big hit today, how do you feel about him currently going into the postseason? Like, let's say he gets a couple starts, maybe hits a bomb, and it continues to look how he's looking now. How are you feeling about him going into the postseason, about getting some starts?
Good. If he's hot going in, if he does well in this series, I feel good, because I don't know how severe that rib injury actually was.
Right.
I think it might have been a little bit of an excuse just to give him some days off, just to figure some shit out.
Right.
Because
right. Well,
you can't send him down.
Changes his swing a bit too.
Yeah.
Like, change his positioning of his hand.
His stance, his stance is a bit different, but I don't know. I mean, if he gets red hot over these next 3 games, then yeah, he's a must start. But maybe it's a platoon between him and Chris Taylor, because AJ Pollock's your everyday left fielder no matter what, because he's been your best player.
The thing is who's playing center? Are you going to give that to Chris Taylor, or are you?
That's what I'm saying.
Gavin Lux out there.
I don't know. It could be.
Because here's a scary situation. Let me put this in your nightmare book. 1 game playoff against the Cardinals. You got a ball in the gap. A tough play or even just a regular ass misplay in center field from Gavin Lux, which we've seen multiple times. That could completely change the fate of a game.
I think Bellinger gets the start as long as he has a decent weekend. And I think Lux getting hurt last night, running into the wall, really opened up that door, because think about it. If Lux doesn't do that, Bellinger's not in the game. Maybe they don't tie it up. Maybe they lose. Maybe Bellinger doesn't get in there today because Lux is fine and he doesn't get that hit. So you don't get to see that he's kind of figuring it out.
Right.
So
I think, as far as on the other side, I would rather see Gavin Lux in center field than Cody Bellinger, because yes, Gavin Lux, I mean, he's dangerous, but he's no, force that I'm super scared of. Cody Bellinger isn't either, but at the same time, when there's a ball in the gap and it's Gavin Lux, I'm like, oh shit. There's a ball in the gap and it's Cody Bellinger. I'm like, oh fuck, he's gonna catch this shit. So that's a huge up in my book.
Well, yeah, of course, because think about the Dodgers would only be down 1 game if they knew how to do, or if defensive positioning wasn't such a big deal. Because as we've talked about, we had 4 first basemen that would have caught that fucking ball up in San Francisco to win the game.
God. We're still talking about that.
I'm just saying.
Crazy. We're picking random games. You're gonna. I can't believe I'm still hearing. I can't believe I'm still hearing about the Darren Rufcheck swing. I'm still hearing about this shit.
Luckiest team in baseball.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Luckiest team in baseball.
Luckiest team in baseball. What about the 5 errors you guys gave up yesterday? And the Padres are just like, nah, we're still not going to score. About that luck? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's just pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, getting shit done. Listen, I just want to say, my hatred for Giants fandom has grown tenfold this season. Seeing how smug all of you are, thinking that you're on the same level. And like I said, I'm going to fucking figure it out. More so, like John Boy will figure it out when he can break down the whole season.
We're not on the same level. Y'all are in the rear view mirror.
Second place. Yeah, whatever.
Guess I have to take you at your word. Number two.
Yeah. Believe me, I've been waiting to pull that out. It just hasn't. I haven't had the chance, unfortunately. But
right.
No, dude, this whole podcast tonight seems like a wash. Because I have nothing. I have nothing to fight for now. Like there's no. I can't in good faith be like, we still got a chance. I mean, mathematically, sure. Realistically, no.
Correct. I completely agree. And if you want to talk about Giants Twitter and Giants fandom being smug, I gotta say something I've been seeing all over Dodgers Twitter, which is ridiculous.
My God.
Hearing how bad this Dodger team is from Dodger fans, and how I've seen tweets that say this is the worst 100 win team I've ever seen. They just went 5-1 last week.
Yep.
Even if you go the last 10, they're like 8-2 or 9-1. I have to double check. I know it's at least 8-2, but I didn't check to after this win today, so I don't know if that knocks it off to 9-1. But I know for a fact it's at least 8-2. That is easily, I want to say maybe 8 times out of 10 the hottest team in baseball. If you're 8-2,
yeah. I mean,
there's just I'm not trying to be that certain way, but the Giants are just literally matching them. They are at a 2-game advantage, and they're just matching what they're doing.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. There's never been a bad 103 team.
Yes.
103 win team. There's that's an oxymoron. It does not work.
Right.
And also last night, before the Dodgers started building momentum, before Mookie hit that home run, boy, did I see the fucking Fire Dave Robert tweets come out in full force. Have you lost your fucking minds? Like, he hasn't been making bad managerial decisions. Right. The team just hasn't been performing, and yet they're still 5-1 this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've obviously been doing a great job. It's not like you can pinpoint, like last night, you can't be like, okay, Dave Roberts really fucked up here. No,
right.
The dudes just weren't playing. So I don't know. I get you're frustrated, and when you're frustrated, you say stupid shit, but maybe sometimes just don't.
Leave it in the drafts, my guy. Leave it in the drafts. It's crazy because any other 100-win team would have at least a 5-game lead going into this last week. You're just not understanding and realizing how special of a regular season the Giants are having right now. And I'm not saying that just to be smug, as a wise man once said, but it's literally the most wins in franchise history, and they're eyeing the most wins they passed the wins for San Francisco history. They're on pace to beat the franchise record back to Christy Matheson. So like it's unexplainable. There's a bit of positive things going your way, but it's also a thing of taking advantage of it and not taking things for granted, coming back, never being out of games. It's a lot. So I just think this goes back to what I've been saying these past 2 years on this podcast that Dodger fans are spoiled and they say that if it's not a World Series, I don't give a shit, then don't watch baseball because you're not going to win a World Series every year. That's just the way it is.
Well, we might. Anyways,
Generation X.
no, but it's the same thing for the Giants. Let's say the Giants get swept this weekend and the Dodgers sweep, and all of a sudden the Giants are going to the wild card. Dude, having a 105 game winner going to the wild card, or the Dodgers could win 106 games and still end up in the wild card. Like, that's tough. That's just a tough break, and it sucks because you could get kicked out in one fucking game. But dude, that's just the way it is. Like I've said, I've bitched about it for years that the wild card game is bullshit, but we all know the rules, so I'm not going to complain if we fucking lose.
Right.
But we're not going to, so I'm not worried about it because we won't even be in that game because we're going to win the division somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. I'm not. I mean, I know it's not really time to reflect. We're going to get into this week's of Giants baseball because here's the thing: I'm not going to reflect on the season because the season ain't over. All right, you put your hands up doing the victory thing before it happens, and then you end up getting swept by the Padres. So I will not do that. And not only that, it's also a thing if you happen to lose the series, and the Dodgers sweep, 163 is a nightmare situation for you. It really is. And I know it's unlikely, and I'm not saying it like to be smug, but I'm just saying don't put your hands up and start celebrating the season just yet. Just win one more game.
Yeah. The other thing about the wild card, whether it be the Giants or the Dodgers who end up playing in it, dude, Dodger fans, Giants fans, and baseball fans as a whole need the Dodgers and Giants to play one another in the division series.
Yeah.
Like, dude, let's say the Dodgers somehow win the division and the Giants lose in the wild card. Normally, that would be fucking great. But I want to be the ones to kick them out.
Right.
That's the dream scenario.
Correct.
So, hope to God that the Dodgers and Giants meet in the DS and that this wild card game doesn't fucking matter whatsoever. But go ahead, talk about your cheating team and how they won a couple games or whatever.
Let's talk about the 6-0 San Francisco Giants, please. Thank you very much. Kiss the babies, shake hands, all that jazz, good stuff. Giants start last week in Colorado. They just come off of a sweep of Colorado in Colorado and do it again. The only team to do it once, and they did it again. They did it twice. So nice they had to do it twice. But a huge thing happens in Colorado, unfortunately. They lose Brandon Belt, the captain, for pretty much guaranteed most of the postseason. It's a possibility that he might come back if they make it to the World Series, but I just don't see it happening. And honestly, we're already talking about him, so I'm going to give my stud to Brandon Belt. 3 bombs last week, 471 batting average with a 1.059 OPS. I mean, it's no secret that he's on fire right now, and everyone knows when Brandon Belt is on fire, he could be the best hitter in baseball for when he's hot. But the problem is just when he gets cold, he is fucking cold. It's a huge dent. It's a huge hole, but at the same time, the platoon splits between Lamont Wade and Darren Ruff. I mean, it's just second to none. I mean, I think we saw why you're going to miss him so much too. When you look at, the misplay at first base today by Wilmer Flores, his defense is a huge loss. But I think they're going to be able to cover it. I mean, he's been gone for months and they still have, the best record in baseball. So it is what it is. Can't cry about it. But one thing is really interesting to me. I'm going to do a quick dud real fast because here's one thing. I feel like this guy, my dud, Evan Longoria, who's hitting 100 right now, has 10 strikeouts in 21 plate appearances. I think this dude is going to go off in the playoffs. I think he's going to be cold this next series. He's still going to be really shitty, but they're going to keep playing him because he's of Longoria, and he is just going to go dick dropping like anyone's ever seen, almost as crazy as Buster Posey's dick dropping tour this year. But yeah, that's just my prediction for that. One thing I did want to talk about really quick. Last thing, I mean, because we can talk about the Giants winning all the time, but at the same time,
Jesus
they beat the Rockies
Christ. Get over yourself.
and the Diamondbacks. I mean, like, how long can you talk about them being the Diamondbacks? I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah. I mean, you lose a game, maybe. Okay, it is what it is. It happens. But a sweep, you can't really. I don't know. You can't even. You might get a chub over it, but that's about it. But one thing I do want to talk about is the curious cases of the stocks rising and falling, right? So if you were to ask me 2 weeks ago about my man Camilo Doval, and you would say, hey, would you want him on the postseason roster? I would have been like, oh, I don't think so. I don't think you put him on. I think you have a lot more reliable arms in the bullpen. He's known to be his control is a little bit out of whack. But this last 2 weeks have just been incredible. I mean, ever since he's came back up from, because when he came up at first, couldn't find the strike zone, got hit a lot, went back down to AAA. But ever since he's came back, dude has had 14 games, 14 innings, 20 Ks, and no earned runs, and has been closing games these past couple days. I mean, at this point, I think he might be the closer in the postseason. I mean, even if Jake McGee comes back, how good he's looked. I mean, he looks untouchable right now. Throwing 102, having like pinpoint command on his fucking slider. I think it's a discussion. I don't think it happens.
I miss Tyler Rogers filling in and pitching the ninth. Those days were way better.
And that's another thing, too. If you were to ask me 2 weeks ago who would fill in if Jake McGee's gone, I'd be like, oh, Tyler Rogers. Why not Tyler Rogers? And even the times that because he's kind of, I don't want to say struggling, but he's not looking as shut down as before. But it's the classic Tyler Rogers, singles, 2 singles, just in just finding holes, like ground balls, finding holes. They're not hard hit balls. You get the occasional home run every once in a while, but he doesn't give up very many home runs at all. So, but right now, Camilo Doval is striking out 2 when he goes out there, and just not walking anybody. So at this point, you got to run your hot hand. I mean, I was one of the ones who was pretty vocal after the trade deadline, how the Giants, it was a disappointment they didn't get a starter, and I was disappointed that they only got Tony Watson in the bullpen. But let's just say they got 2 guys. One, the person we just talked about, 14 games, 14 innings, 20 Ks and 0 runs. And they also got a guy who's going to pitch you, who's since coming up 7 games in 10 innings, meaning he's gone multiple innings. And he just put up a couple zeros today too. So it's actually 8 games and 12 innings. And the dude's got no earned runs. You'd be pretty happy. So that's Camilo Doval. That's Kervin Castro. Those are your big pickups. They're doing a lot better than Craig Kimbrell has. So blowing it up over there in Chicago. So I'm very confident in this team going into the postseason. I'm guessing they're going to lose out on Kazmir. Bummed out about Belt. Big E's supposed to come back. Darren Ruff and Johnny Cueto just came back. I think the 4th starter is going to be a piggyback of Wood and Cueto. I don't know. Feeling dangerous, Tyler. That's all I'm saying. We're feeling dangerous.
And I literally don't give a shit. One thing that I do want to say that I'm kind of bummed about. I mean, we know the 2022 schedule. It's a preliminary schedule at this point. Dodgers, last weekend of the season, play the Rockies. And the series before that, they have 4 against the Padres. I don't know how far in advance they start working on the schedule, but how they didn't realize that they fucked up this year and that they should right that wrong. I mean, they do. Dodgers and Giants are going to play 6 times in September. but the last time is in the middle of September, which was essentially the same as this year.
Right.
Fucking dumb. Because this weekend will still be exciting, but could you imagine if the Dodgers and Giants were playing each other this weekend? How fucking sick that would be.
That would be
every game should be nationally televised.
Right.
It would have been absolutely insane. But now these games are still important and they're still going to be great, but it would do more for baseball, more for each franchise. So hopefully they get that shit right next year or 2023.
Right. They didn't believe in Farhan, and that was the problem. They thought that 2023 was going to be the year, and sorry, Jack, it ain't it.
Yeah. Whatever, cheating Lamont Wade brought over from Minnesota, we're going to have to snuff that out.
Yeah, because it was working, that cheating that he had in Minnesota was working for him so well over there.
Well, it was working for the team, and then they had to stop using it once they went to the postseason for obvious reasons. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have, much more to say. It's this weekend's going to be a pain in my ass. Hopefully the Dodgers win the division, whether that be sweeping and the Giants get swept or it's a 163. But let's all just rejoice in the fact that the Padres will not have a winning season. They're the only good thing in their entire season happened tonight when Fernando Tatis hit a ball out of Dodger Stadium off the Catman, off Tony Gonsolin, for the first time since I think Mike Bolsinger gave up a home run to Giancarlo Stanton a few years ago that went out of the stadium.
I remember that Stanton home run. Yeah, probably in the same spot. Yeah.
So that's neat, I guess.
That's what MLB is gonna. That's what's so funny. It's like that meme, of that they would always post. It would be, those kids dancing in the bathroom. I'm talking about, and it's like, Padres get swept, but Fernando Tatis hits a home run, so Padres Twitter is all excited. Like that's that. I mean, like that's what's gonna be all over MLB. Oh my God, look at Fernando Tatis. It's like, bro, his whole team just fucking blew up. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. I get it. It was a huge monster home run. You got to talk about it, but at the same time, it's like every single time he hits a home run, they're going crazy for him when his team is just a fucking dumpster fire going down a drain. And it's not like they're an up and coming team, where it's like, oh, they lose, it's not a big deal, but they're exciting. They were supposed to be that guy, pal, and they are not that guy.
And their farm system is getting ever depleted. And dude, I mean, we didn't even talk about it on the show. I know you and I talked about it before. Tingler's gone for sure. There's no way. But I also want to know, I think Preller should be gone too.
Really?
Dude, I mean, look at it. All these moves to not even finish above 500. And it took a shortened season for them to make the playoffs. But I'm curious to know your thoughts, because someone was kicking this around yesterday at the Dodger game. And I think there's no way, absolutely no way this happens. But they're like, there are rumors that Bruce Bochy, San Diego again. And I was like, there's no way. There's no fucking way.
Right.
One, he's old. I think.
Leave my guy alone.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
You're going to make me Chris Crocker this bitch. Leave Bruce Bochy alone.
But I don't think Boch would want to go to San Diego. I mean, dude, he carved himself out a piece of history up in the Bay. I don't think he'd be willing to go to a rival.
Here's the thing. I mean, he lives in San Diego. From what I understand, I believe he lives in San Diego. So obviously he has that San Diego connection from, being a manager there, playing there, all that jazz. And he always leaves the door open. And I've heard him on multiple times on the radio, multiple podcasts talking about, I think the last thing that I heard from him, and he was like, it's probably my fault that there's so much, talked about, because I say, hey, you never know what could happen. You never want to close the door because you never know what could happen. And he says, I really like my role with the Giants right now. I don't see myself doing anything anytime soon, but I'm also not going to say I'm never going to manage again, when it's a possibility, but I'd maybe take a call, but I don't see it happening. So I think he has that itch, but I think he knows it's so much better to go out on your own terms than being forced out. Because here's the thing, things are different now. And the way he managed, he's one of the greatest managers of all time. I'm not trying to disrespect or anything, especially, gosh, I love the dude so much. But I don't know, man. I think that he would be judged so much for so many moves that he would make. He was known for playing veteran guys over up and coming guys who are doing better, because he's a veteran type manager. He always going to play as veterans. So if he goes to San Diego, get ready for Eric Hosmer in that lineup every single day. So I don't think that's what they want. I don't think that's the way they're going to go.
Yeah. I think Tingler's gone, though. I think he's gone.
Yeah.
There are rumors that he's like lost control of the clubhouse.
Right.
And I could see that happening. But who cares? Fuck the Padres. I want to leave on a good note for the Dodgers. So I want to say, think about this, Dodger fans. Corey Seager, 3 home runs in the last 2 games. AJ Pollock, smashing the ball. And also, I read this on MLB Trade Rumors this morning. He's locked in for next season. If AJ Pollock would have got like 30 or 26 more at bats this season, he would have been able to opt out. And he definitely would have, because he's going to be finished the season hitting over 300. So he's locked in for next year. We got him for next year. So that's great. But the team's starting to hit at the right time. So whether or not it's 163 or the wild card game, Scherzer got that clunker out of the way. Buehler got that clunker out of the way and pitched great this week. The boys are hitting. Yeah, okay, whatever. The boys are hitting. It's going to be okay. This is not a bad team. Bad teams don't win potentially 106 games. So relax. Let's just enjoy the last series of the season. And hopefully we'll see those pesky Giants in the National League Division Series.
I like this energy of going at somebody, so I'm going to go at someone right now. I want Giants podcast, Twitter, the radio, that whole conglomerate to leave Brandon Belt alone. Okay, I'm going to Chris Crocker this bitch. Leave him alone. Everyone is very upset that he's gone, and they're mad at him for I'm not sure if you saw him getting hit in the hand, but he was rounding to bunt. And people are mad that why would you bunt right now? You're the hottest dude on the planet. You just hit, 2 home runs in this game, and yesterday in the game before. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But at the same time, the shift on Brandon Belt is ridiculous. If he bunts that way, which people have been yelling at him to bunt that way, myself included, to bunt that way for a double every single time. Why wouldn't you take that? If you felt like you could have not only that, you know how many times he's checked, like when he checks a swing, he comes down, like down and across, exactly where he was pulling back and he got hit in the thumb. So he could have been checking a swing, got hit in the thumb. So I don't care.
Didn't Brandon Belt have one of the best bunts I saw all season? Am I thinking of Brandon Belt where he against the Dodgers he bunted it up the line and it went all the way and hit the bag? Okay.
Yes, that was Brandon Crawford. But Brandon Belt has had
the other Brandon doing PEDs. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So good that you got to make up a story about them doing PEDs. Yeah, of course. But if they shift him over that side, he would hit that for a double. Everyone would have went crazy. So a double's a double, whether it's a bunt double or it's a double in the gap. So I have no problem with him bunting. Obviously, he's not thinking, oh shit, I'm going to get hit in the hand with this. Like, calm yourselves down. It is what it is. It could have happened on a check swing as well. So I don't even want to hear it at this point. So leave him alone. If he wants to fucking bunt, he can bunt. He wasn't Devin Williams punching a wall for no reason. He was trying to get on second base or on base. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. The Giants have nothing to celebrate because they haven't won in the division, and they won't win the division. Dodgers. I know I've said it all season. Enjoy it while it lasts.
We're gonna have to put it like a little counter, like
of how many times I flip flop.
Yeah, how many flip flop on winning the division, how their season's over.
You know, maybe I'm just emotionally unstable. I don't know. The Dodgers are sweeping this weekend. The Padres are gonna win 2 games. Then there's gonna be a 163. The boys in blue are taking it.
We're going to North Dakota.
Then we're going to Oregon.
That's
yeah. Realistically, let's prepare for the wild card game. There's another flip flop. Count it up. As always, this episode has been brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where they make the best candles because I'm emotionally unstable right now.
That's always love is getting put into those candles. So
yeah,
buy
totally.
some candles. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will be doing a preview to the wild card game. The episode coming out either Monday or Tuesday. Make sure to keep a lookout for that. And we're gonna up the stakes, especially if the Giants and Dodgers play. But we'll keep you updated and posted on when that stuff's going to drop. Thank you so much for listening again. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform so you don't miss this kind of stuff. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast, Twitter, Benches Cleared P, and on TikTok, Benches Cleared. And the next time we talk, someone's going to be happy and someone's going to be really sad. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Tyler. So we'll see you then next week.